The observation deck of Chuck's personal cruiser thrummed with urgency as the Emperor absorbed the dire news of the Haxis Dominion's declaration of war. His eyes fixed on the holographic battle maps that hovered before him, each pulse of light representing strategic positions and potential hotspots of conflict. The chamber, typically a haven of composed deliberation, now buzzed with the electric tension of impending warfare. "A Challenger Fleet Alpha is mobilizing," reported Commander Zara, her voice steady, yet laced with the gravity of their situation. "They're preparing to deploy to the outer rim within the next 48 hours. Chuck leaned forward, his fingers steepled thoughtfully. "We need to anticipate their moves. The Haxis have always favored aggressive expansion, but their recent advancements suggest a significant shift in their strategy." The Emperor nodded, his regal demeanor unshaken. "Indeed. Their use of stealth FTL ships and adaptive cloaking technology indicates they plan to strike swiftly and without warning. We must bolster our defenses and prepare countermeasures immediately." Suddenly an alarm blared and the room dimmed as emergency lights flickered on. A large screen on the far wall displayed incoming transmissions from the front lines. Static filled the airwaves before a clear yet frantic voice broke through. "Emperor, this is Admiral Thorne. The Haxis are launching a coordinated assault on our eastern defenses. They've breached the primary shields and are advancing towards the capital sector." Chuck's mind raced as he processed the information. "Deploy the vanguard units to Sector 7G, initiate defensive protocols and engage the enemy fleet with full force." The Emperor raised a hand, signaling for calm. "Execute the plan. Inform all commanders to maintain communication silence until we have a clear picture of their movements." As the orders were relayed, the cruiser began to vibrate with the incoming battle reports. Screens lit up with real-time footage of space battles, sleek Haxis warships maneuvering with lethal precision, exchanging volleys of plasma fire with the Mothstar Empire's fleet. "Admiral Thorne, what's the status of our primary frigates?" the Emperor inquired, his voice a blend of authority and concern. "They're holding the line, Your Majesty, but we're sustaining significant losses. The Haxis' new weaponry is proving more effective than our initial assessments suggested." Chuck's eyes scanned the data streams, searching for any advantage. "We need to disrupt their communication lines. If we can create chaos within their ranks, it might give us the upper hand." The Emperor considered this. "Initiate the EMP grid around their main carriers. It should disable their systems temporarily, allowing our forces to exploit the confusion." As the plan was set into motion, the cruiser deployed a series of electromagnetic pulse emitters, creating a defensive barrier around the enemy carriers. Moments later, the Haxis ships faltered, their systems flickering before shutting down completely. Seizing the opportunity, the Mothstar Empire's fighters surged forward, launching precision strikes that crippled the disabled vessels. "Victory is within our grasp," Chuck declared, a rare note of optimism in his tone. But the Emperor remained vigilant. "Stay alert. The Haxis are resourceful and relentless. This might just be the beginning." As the battle raged on, the Emperor convened an emergency council with his top advisors. Maps and tactical data covered the table, illuminated by the soft glow of strategic projections. "We must secure the capital sector at all costs," the Emperor stated. "If the Haxis breach our central command, the entire empire could fall into disarray." Commander Zara interjected. "We have a contingency plan, Your Majesty. The Titan strike team is prepared to execute a deep space maneuver to flank their forces. It's risky, but it could turn the tide in our favor." Chuck weighed the options carefully. The Titan strike team's maneuver could catch the Haxis off guard, but it requires precise timing and flawless execution. Any misstep could leave us vulnerable. The Emperor placed a hand on Chuck's shoulder, his expression resolute. "We have no choice. Mobilize the Titan strike team, inform Admiral Thorne to hold their position and support the flanking maneuver." With orders given, the Titan strike team launched from the cruiser, slipping into the dark expanse of space with silent determination. The tension was palpable as the Moth Star Empire awaited the outcome of this bold move. Minutes felt like hours until the return transmission crackled through. Emperor, the Titan strike team has successfully flanked the Haxes' fleet. They're disrupting their formations and causing significant casualties. Our forces are gaining the upper hand. A collective sigh of relief echoed through the chamber. The Emperor allowed himself a moment of satisfaction before addressing the room. Excellent work. Continue to press the advantage. We must ensure the Haxes cannot regroup and launch another offensive. Are you ready? I asked them. Ready for something new? I asked the remaining demon counselors. We have never been too comfortable here. It's time we move against them and prove them wrong. As the battle reached its climax, the combined efforts of strategic brilliance and unwavering resolve began to turn the tide in favor of the Moth Star Empire. The Haxis Dominion, once confident in their superiority, found themselves on the defensive, struggling to maintain their aggressive stance against the unified forces of their adversaries. In the aftermath of the skirmish, the Emperor stood before his people, addressing the galaxy with a message of resilience and hope. Today, we have faced a formidable enemy and emerged victorious. Let this be a testament to our strength, unity, and unyielding spirit. Together, we will continue to safeguard our empire and ensure peace across the stars. The celebration was short-lived, however, as intelligence reports began to surface about other factions within the galaxy taking sides, each with their own agendas and alliances. The Emperor knew that the victory against the Haxes was just one chapter in a much larger saga of interstellar politics and warfare. Chuck analyzed the latest data, his mind already strategizing the next moves. Emperor, our scouts have detected movements from the Orion Syndicate. They seem to be forming an alliance with remnants of the Haxis forces. This could spell trouble for our diplomatic efforts. The Emperor's eyes darkened with determination. Prepare for all eventualities. We must engage in both diplomacy and preparedness. The galaxy is vast, and our journey to maintain peace has only just begun. Weeks passed, and the initial victory over the Haxes' dominion had not given the Moth Star Empire the time to breathe easy. Reports of skirmishes and shifting alliances flooded in from all corners of the galaxy. The Orion Syndicate's involvement with the Haxes was particularly troubling, as their combined forces posed a significant threat to the stability of the region. One evening, as the Emperor reviewed the latest intelligence with Chuck and Commander Zara, a new transmission arrived. This time, from an unexpected source. "Something moved," said Chuck repeatedly. This time, from Emperor. "This is Ambassador Leora of the Celestial Accord. We come in peace, seeking an alliance against the Haxes Orion Coalition. The threats they pose to our collective security are undeniable." The Emperor considered the offer carefully. "An alliance could strengthen our position, but we must ensure their intentions are genuine. Ambassador Leora, what assurances can you provide of your loyalty?" Leora's hologram shimmered with sincerity. "We have much to lose if the Haxi-Orion Coalition succeeds. Our advanced technology and strategic knowledge can be pivotal in turning the tide of this war. We offer our support without reservation, and when we're sure we are safe, we offer peace terms of 72 hours. Chuck nodded thoughtfully. "If we integrate their strategies and resources, it could give us the edge we need. However, trust must be earned, not given." The Emperor responded decisively. "Arrange a meeting with Ambassador Leora. We will assess the viability of this alliance firsthand." Days later, the Emperor, Chuck, Commander Zara, and a delegation of top advisors traveled to the Celestial Accord's flagship for negotiations. The ship was a marvel of interstellar engineering, a testament to the Accord's technological prowess and commitment to peace. Upon arrival, they were greeted by Ambassador Leora and her council. The grand hall was adorned with symbols of unity and progress, a stark contrast to the tension that gripped the galaxy. "Welcome, Your Majesty," Leora greeted warmly. "We are honored to discuss our potential alliance." The Emperor took his seat, eyes scanning the room for any signs of deceit. "Ambassador, your offer is appreciated. However, given the recent conflicts, we must ensure that our collaboration will be mutually beneficial and free of hidden agendas." Leora inclined her head. "Understandably so. The Haxi-Orion threat leaves us no room for distrust. Our mission aligns with yours, the preservation of peace and the protection of our civilizations." As discussions progressed, Chuck noticed subtle discrepancies in the data presented by the Celestial Accord. Their technological advancements were impressive, but certain strategic details seemed eerily similar to Haxis tactics. He raised his concerns quietly with Commander Zara. "Commander, there's something off about their strategies. It's as if they've been influenced or trained by Haxis methodologies," Chuck whispered. Zara frowned, her eyes narrowing. "I agree. We need to delve deeper before committing to any alliance. Let's request access to their strategic archives under the guise of strengthening our cooperative efforts," Leora responded promptly. "Of course. Transparency is key to our alliance. You will have full access to our strategic data centers." The following days were a whirlwind of negotiations and collaborative planning. The Celestial Accord shared their intelligence, and the Moth Star Empire integrated their resources into their defense systems. However, Chuck's suspicions grew as he delved deeper into the Accord's archives. Late one night, he discovered encrypted files hidden within the strategic data. Using his expertise, he decrypted the files, revealing shocking information. The Celestial Accord had been covertly collaborating with the Haxis Dominion for years, developing advanced weaponry and strategic plans aimed at destabilizing the Moth Star Empire from within. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Chuck hurried to inform the Emperor and Commander Zara. "Your Majesty, I've uncovered evidence that the Celestial Accord has been working with the Haxis Dominion. They are betraying us from the inside." The Emperor's face hardened as he reviewed the decrypted files. "This changes everything. Ambassador Leora, is this true?" Leora's expression shifted from warmth to cold indignation. "Your Majesty, these accusations are baseless and fabricated. We have always stood against the Haxis-Orion coalition." Chuck stepped forward, holding up the evidence. "These files tell a different story. The Celestial Accord has been providing the Haxis with technology and strategic plans. Why else would their strategies mirror Haxis' tactics so closely?" Leora's facade crumbled as she realized the deception was unveiled. "You may have uncovered a fraction of our true intentions, but know that we will not go down without a fight." Without warning, the Celestial Accord's defense systems activated, and hidden drones surged forward, targeting the Moth Star Empire's delegation. Alarms blared as chaos erupted in the Grand Hall. The Emperor swiftly took command. "Commander Zara, activate the defense grids and neutralize the drones. Chuck, coordinate with the cruiser's security teams to secure our delegation." As the battle ensued, the true extent of the Celestial Accord's betrayal became apparent. Advanced weaponry, unlike anything the Moth Star Empire had encountered, decimated their defenses. The Emperor and his team fought valiantly, but the odds were stacked against them. In a desperate move, Chuck accessed the cruiser's mainframe, overriding the Accord's systems. "I'm initiating a system-wide shutdown. It might disrupt their operations, but it could also give us the upper hand." The Emperor nodded, understanding the risk. "Do it." With a deep breath, Chuck executed the command. The Grand Hall plunged into darkness as the Celestial Accord's systems failed, rendering their drones inert. The tide of battle shifted as the Moth Star Empire's forces regained control, pushing back the traitorous Accord defenders. As the dust settled, the Emperor stood amidst the ruins of the Grand Hall, surveying the aftermath of the betrayal. "This betrayal only strengthens our resolve," We will not be swayed by deceit. Our true allies remain, and together we will overcome any obstacle. In the wake of the Celestial Accord's betrayal, the Moth Star Empire found itself more determined than ever to secure peace and stability in the galaxy. With the Haxis Dominion and the remnants of the Orion Syndicate forming a formidable alliance, the stakes had never been higher. Determined to prevent further deceptions and strengthen their defenses, the Emperor convened a council of the most trusted leaders within the Empire. We must unify our forces and establish clear communication channels to detect and counter any future threats. Trust and transparency will be our greatest weapons against those who seek to undermine us. Freezing transparency had lasted 3 days before the final blasts transformed the entire Imperium system. Chuck proposed a new initiative. Your Majesty, we should establish an interstellar intelligence network. By pooling our resources and information, we can anticipate and counteract enemy strategies more effectively. The Emperor agreed. Begin the formation of the Intergalactic Intelligence Directorate immediately. Commander Zara, oversee the integration of our existing intelligence assets with the new network. As the Moth Star Empire strengthened its internal structures, they also sought to forge new alliances with other benevolent civilizations. Diplomatic missions were dispatched to neighboring star systems, aiming to build a coalition capable of standing against the Haxalrion threat. While during one such mission, Ambassador Selene of the Luminary Federation approached the Emperor with a proposal. Your Majesty, our intelligence has confirmed the Haxis-Orion Coalition's movements towards the nebula expanse. We believe a joint strike could disrupt their plans significantly. The Emperor considered the offer. A coordinated strike would indeed weaken their advance. Let us plan this together, ensuring that our combined forces strike with precision and strength. Under Chuck's strategic guidance and Commander Zara's unwavering leadership, the Moth Star Empire and the Luminary Federation orchestrated a series of coordinated attacks against the Haxis Orient forces. Each mission was meticulously planned, leveraging the strengths of both alliances to maximize their impact. One night, as the two fleets prepared for a decisive battle in the heart of the nebula expanse, Chuck stood beside the Emperor, gazing out into the star-studded void. This is it, Your Majesty, the culmination of our efforts. If we succeed, it could turn the tide of this war. The Emperor placed a reassuring hand on Chuck's shoulder. We have come far because of leaders like you. Together, we will ensure peace prevails. Stranger, as the orders were given and the fleet surged forward, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation and resolve. The ensuing battle was fierce and unrelenting, with both sides suffering heavy losses. However, the strategic brilliance of Chuck and the unified front of the alliances began to overwhelm the Haxis-Orion coalition. In the midst of the chaos, the Emperor identified the Haxis flagship, a massive vessel bristling with advanced weaponry. Challenger Fleet Alpha, target their flagship. It's crucial to disable their command and control center. Chuck nodded, relaying the orders to the fleet. All units, focus your fire on the Haxis flagship. This is our chance to end this conflict. As plasma blasts and energy torpedoes rained down upon the Haxis vessel, the flagship's defenses faltered under the relentless assault. In a final, coordinated strike, the flagship was crippled, its systems failing and engines shutting down. With the loss of their command ship, the Haxi-Orion forces began to disintegrate, their morale shattered by the decisive blow. The remaining ships, realizing the futility of their cause, retreated into the depths of the nebula, their presence fading into the cosmic horizon. Daybreak follows. Daybreak. The aftermath of the battle was bittersweet. The Moth Star Empire and their allies had emerged victorious, but the cost had been high. Lives were lost, and entire fleets had been decimated. However, the victory was a turning point, signaling the beginning of the end for the Haxis-Orion coalition. Returning to the Moth Star Empire's flagship, the Emperor addressed his people once more. Today, We have not only defended our empire but also secured a future of peace and cooperation among the stars. Let us honor those who sacrificed so much by rebuilding and striving for a harmonious galaxy." Chuck, standing beside the Emperor, reflected on the journey that had brought them here. "We've faced betrayal, forged new alliances, and overcome insurmountable odds. But this is just the beginning. We must remain vigilant to ensure that peace endures." As the Moth Star Empire embarked on a new era of reconstruction and diplomacy, the bonds forged in the crucible of war proved unbreakable. The galaxy, once torn apart by conflict, now stood united under the banner of peace and mutual respect. Months of rebuilding had transformed the Moth Star Empire into a beacon of hope and resilience. The scars of war were evident, but the spirit of unity and progress shone brightly. However, beneath the surface, lingering threats and unresolved tensions hinted at challenges yet to come. One evening, as the Emperor reviewed reports in his private chambers, a discreet message arrived from an unknown source. The holographic display flickered, revealing a coded transmission that only Chuck could decipher. "Chuck, this is urgent. I've intercepted a communication indicating that remnants of the Haxus Dominion are regrouping in the Dark Nebula. They're forming a new alliance with a faction known as the Shadow Syndicate. We need to investigate immediately." Chuck's eyes met the Emperor's, conveying the seriousness of the situation. "Your Majesty, it appears our victory may have been premature. The Haxies are not the only threat lurking in the shadows." The Emperor's expression grew stern. "Prepare a reconnaissance mission. We must uncover the extent of these new alliances and prevent another conflict from erupting." As preparations began, Commander Zara emphasized the importance of intelligence. "We need to understand the Shadow Syndicate's motives and their relationship with the Haxies' remnants. Without that, any action we take could be misinformed." Chuck agreed. "I'll lead a team to infiltrate their operations. We'll gather as much information as possible to formulate an effective response." The reconnaissance mission was set for the approaching fortnight. Chuck assembled a specialized team of operatives, each selected for their unique skills in espionage, technology, and combat. Among them was Lieutenant Mira, an expert in stealth tactics, and Dr. Elias Cade, a renowned xenobiologist with knowledge of alien species and their behaviors. As the team embarked on their journey, the vastness of space seemed to stretch endlessly before them. Their ship, the intrepid Voyager, was equipped with the latest stealth technology, allowing them to approach the Dark Nebula undetected. Upon entering the nebula, the ship navigated through dense clouds of interstellar dust and unpredictable energy storms. Communication with the Moth Star Empire's main fleet was limited, heightening the sense of isolation and danger. After days of cautious exploration, the team discovered a hidden outpost nestled within the nebula's core. The structure was imposing, built with dark alloys and adorned with symbols reminiscent of both the Haxus Dominion and the Shadow Syndicate. It was clear that this was a strategic hub for their operations. Chuck led the team as they approached the outpost, utilizing their stealth capabilities to avoid detection. Lieutenant Mira disabled the external security systems, allowing the team to infiltrate the facility undetected. Inside, they encountered a labyrinth of corridors and secure chambers. The atmosphere was tense, every step bringing them closer to uncovering the secrets of their adversaries. As they delved deeper, they stumbled upon a central command room where high-ranking officials of the Shadow Syndicate and the Haxies Dominion were convening. Dr. Cade carefully recorded the proceedings, noting discussions about advanced weaponry, new FTL technologies, and plans for expanding their influence across uncharted regions of the galaxy. The alliance between the Shadow Syndicate and the Haxus Dominion was more profound and sinister than initially anticipated. Suddenly an alarm blared and red lights flashed throughout the outpost. "Intruders detected," a voice announced over the intercom. "Initiate lockdown protocols. Security units converge on the breach points." The team sprang into action, fighting their way through security forces intent on eliminating the threat. Amidst the chaos, Chuck managed to secure critical data from the command center, containing invaluable intelligence about the enemy's future plans. As they made their escape, the outpost began to self-destruct, triggered by the breach. The team raced back to the intrepid Voyager, barely escaping the explosion that engulfed the facility. The nebula's energy storms intensified, making their return journey treacherous. Back at the Mothstar Empire's flagship, the Emperor convened an emergency meeting with his advisors. Chuck presented the gathered intelligence, revealing the depth of the alliance between the Haxus Dominion and the Shadow Syndicate. This coalition poses a significant threat, Chuck explained. Their combined resources and advanced technologies could destabilize the entire region. We must act swiftly to dismantle their operations and prevent further escalation. The Emperor nodded gravely. Agreed. We need to disrupt their supply lines, sabotage their research facilities, and sever their alliances with other factions. This requires a multi-pronged approach, involving both military and diplomatic strategies. Commander Zara outlined the tactical plan. We will launch coordinated strikes on their known outposts, targeting their communication networks and weapon manufacturing sites. Additionally, we must enhance our intelligence operations to anticipate their moves and counteract them effectively, Dr. Cade added. Understanding their technological advancements is crucial. If we can reverse engineer their FTL drives or weapon systems, it could provide us with a significant advantage. The Emperor turned to Chuck. You will lead this initiative. Assemble a team of the best minds and warriors we have. We cannot afford any missteps. Under the codename Operation Shadowfall, the Mothstar Empire embarked on a mission to dismantle the Haxus Shadows Coalition. The operation involved multiple phases, each designed to weaken the enemy's infrastructure and disrupt their strategic plans. Phase 1, Intelligence Gathering. Chuck and his team intensified their espionage efforts, infiltrating enemy outposts and gathering critical information about their operations. Lieutenant Mira's expertise in stealth proved invaluable as she led numerous covert missions, extracting data and sabotaging key facilities. Phase 2. Sabotage and disruption. Using the intelligence gathered, the Mothstar Empire launched targeted strikes against the Coalition's supply lines and weapon manufacturing centers. Advanced drones and precision weaponry were employed to minimize collateral damage while maximizing impact on enemy resources. Phase 3. Technological warfare. Dr. Cade and the engineering team focused on analyzing and replicating the Coalition's advanced technologies. By understanding their FTL drives and weapon systems, they developed countermeasures and improved their own defenses, leveling the playing field. Phase 4. Diplomatic maneuvers. Recognizing the importance of alliances, the Emperor initiated diplomatic talks with neutral factions, offering support and cooperation in exchange for their assistance in countering the Haxus Shadows threat. These alliances not only bolstered their military strength, but also provided valuable intelligence and resources. Months of relentless effort brought the Mothstar Empire closer to crippling the Haxus Shadows Coalition. However, the enemy was equally determined, launching desperate counterattacks to maintain their hold on power. The galaxy became a battleground of shifting alliances, strategic maneuvers, and fierce confrontations. The climactic moment arrived when the Mothstar Empire uncovered the location of the Coalition's primary command hub, a massive space station orbiting the volatile star Xylaris. This station housed the Coalition's central command and their most advanced weaponry, including a prototype superweapon capable of devastating entire star systems. The Emperor convened a high-stakes meeting. This is our opportunity to end this conflict once and for all. Destroying their command hub will cripple their operations and neutralize the threat they pose. Chuck outlined the assault plan. We will deploy the Vanguard fleet to engage their defenses, while the Titan strike team infiltrates the station to plant explosive charges. Simultaneously, our stealth units will disable their superweapon systems to prevent catastrophic damage, Commander Zara added. Coordination is key. We must execute each phase flawlessly to ensure success and minimize our losses. With unwavering resolve, the fleets moved into position, preparing for the final assault. The tension was palpable as both sides braced for the ultimate confrontation. The space around Xylaris shimmered with energy as both fleets clashed in a spectacular display of firepower and strategy. Plasma blasts and energy torpedoes streaked through space, illuminating the darkness with bursts of light. The Mothstar Empire's advanced FTL drives allowed their ships to maneuver with unparalleled agility, countering the HFY Shadow's attempts to outflank them. Amidst the chaos, the Titan strike team, led by Chuck and Lieutenant Mira, navigated their vessel towards the command hub. Stealth technology rendered them nearly invisible, allowing them to breach the station's outer defenses undetected. Inside the command hub, the team faced a series of formidable obstacles. Automated defenses, security drones, and encrypted systems designed to thwart intruders. Utilizing their combined expertise, they overcame each challenge, planting the explosive charges at critical points within the facility. Back in the battle zone, Commander Zareth coordinated the Vanguard fleet's efforts, directing reinforcements and countering enemy maneuvers. Maintain formation and focus fire on their capital ships. We need to keep their command units distracted while our strike teams complete their missions. As the Titan strike team initiated the self-destruct sequence, alarms blared throughout the command hub. "Charges set, initiating countdown," Chuck announced. "We have 60 seconds before detonation. Evacuate immediately." The team raced against time, fighting their way back through the now heavily guarded corridors. With mere seconds to spare, they reached their vessel and made a swift exit, narrowly escaping the ensuing explosion that obliterated the command hub in a brilliant inferno. "Ha!"